Virginia here with Jenny Lee Gems. I am now going to teach you the Samoan stitch. So if you've watched my previous videos, I showed you how to do the lazy squaw stitch. The lazy squaw or the lazy stitch will be used in this stitch as well. So the lazy squaw is basically a wrapped portion, which are the short stitches, and then a long portion, which goes down between the bottom row in a basket. So I am wrapping the short stitch right now. Then here's the long stitch. You go down between the two lower rolls. So if you watched the last video, it was the Mariposa stitch or Mariposa butterfly stitch. And we're doing the same thing. We're using the lazy squaw, and we went through the center once and made a knot there, and that made the Mariposa stitch. So with the Samoan stitch, you're going to do the same thing, except you're going to wind around the long stitch 3 times. You can do it 2 times, 1 time. Well, 1 time will be the Mariposa. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever you think you like the look of. I liked 3, and I like the number 3. So I did 3 on this little basket, and it worked perfectly. So there you go. Here's the Samoan stitch, or they also call it the lace effect. So I'll do one more for you. So you wrap around a sufficient amount of times. In this situation, it is about 5 or 6, I think. We shall see. I just measure when I get close to that last stitch, because I'm matching up. I've got a little pattern going here, and I'm just matching up with the bottom. So I kind of hold that over. That looks good. You go down between the coils and complete your long stitch. There's your long stitch with regard to the lazy squaw. So then you come back up around the middle here, just like you did with the Mariposa stitch, but instead of wrapping it around once, you're going to go 2, 3, 4 times, whatever you feel you would like to do. In this case, I am going 3. And it gives it a nice little lacy effect. Let's see if I can clip these on, and I'll show you a close-up of what that looks like. See how you have those larger knots? So on the red row, we have the Mariposa butterfly stitch, and that just has 1 knot. You went around 1 time. Now with the Samoan stitch, you go around 2 or 3, sometimes 4. I think 3 is sufficient. So I'll show you that one more time. Just wrap around, follow your pattern, however many times you need to do to follow your pattern. There's your short stitches. However many you need, whatever that means to you. Then you go down between the 2 coils here. Now you don't pierce the coils, you just go down between. That's your long stitch in the lazy stitch. Now I hold my thread really tight in the back to make sure we don't get a flimsy hold here. So here's 1, we go through around once, I hold it again, so it's not going anywhere on me. There's 2, now it's pretty snug. I'm going to go back for the 3rd time. And there's the third time. Samoan stitch, lace effect stitch. There you go. So it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. And there's my little basket with all of my stitches. I've made video on all the stitches in this basket. They include the Navajo figure 8, the lazy squaw, also known as the lazy stitch, the Mariposa, Spanish is butterfly for Mariposa, Samoan stitch, which is the lace effect. I got a little tongue-tied there. Okay, and I got all of these stitches out of the book that I showed previously. And if you watch the previous videos, you'll see that I refer to this book quite a bit. Sewing Handicraft for Girls, a graded course for city and rural schools. At any rate, there you go. There's the Samoan stitch. I hope you practice these stitches and use them in a few baskets. Tag me on Facebook if you complete a basket and would like me to see what it looks like. Thanks so much for watching. So in case you need it, here's a few more stitches of the Samoan stitch. It combines the lazy squaw, which is just wrapping around several times, whatever number you choose. In this case, I think I'm up to about 6 now to meet up. So here we go. Then you're going to take the long stitch, because that's how the lazy stitch is made. And then you come back between these two coils here where you have the long stitch. And you're going to go around that stitch 3 times. And they also call it the lacy stitch because it makes it look a little bit lacy. So remember down below right here, this is the Mariposa stitch. Mariposa. We're going to do that one more time. I just like to do the stitch several times so you can get an idea of how it works. Long stitch down below the 2 coils right there. Then right in the middle of the long stitch, you're going to come through 3 times. 1, now make sure to hold your string tight back there. Make sure you can get in the hole, which is right there. 2, I really try to snug it up. 3, so see how that just creates a little knot there? And it's just a little bit bigger. This is 1 knot and this is 3. So you'll see what effect that gives. This will be the last one, I promise. Okay, now we're going to take the long stitch down below between the coils. You don't have to pierce the needles. Come back up, go through the long stitch 3 times. Okay, there you go. That's what it looks like. I hope I got it all on camera. So you have 4 different stitches in this basket. You have the Navajo stitch down below, figure 8. I showed you how to do that on another video. Then you have the lazy squaw. And here's the lazy squaw going over across the top. And then here you have the lazy squaw attaching it with a figure 8 as opposed to the basic over the top. And then with this single little knot in the red, that's the Mariposa or Mariposa. And then with the triple knot here, that's a Samoan or the lace effect. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. Thanks for watching.